Alright, so today guys we're gonna be talking about a theory which involves King of the Hill and Ireland being a post-apocalyptic town. Number one, the isolation of Ireland. One of the strongest aspects of this theory is the isolation of Ireland. Throughout King of the Hill, Ireland feels cut off from major cities, and the town residents really seem to engage with the world beyond their borders. The few times they interact with larger cities or modern technology is often portrayed as strange or problematic. This could suggest that the world outside of Ireland has undergone some major societal collapse, forcing small isolated communities to revert to a simpler way of life. Number two, regress technology and culture. The town's values, lifestyles, and even the technology they seem to use stuck in the 1980s or earlier, despite the show airing in the late 1990s, early 2000s. Ireland's residents rarely use the internet, cell phones, or modern technology. Theories suggest that these advancements were lost during a global catastrophe, and the world has regressed to a state where the older technology, like propane, Hank's passion, had become critical to survival. This would also explain Hank's obsession with propane. It's the most reliable fuel left in a world where more advanced energy sources have failed. Number three, Cotton Hill as a relic of the old world. Cotton Hill's character could be a symbolic relief of a pre-apocalyptic world. He fought in World War II, losing his shins in the process, and is often portrayed as tough and uncompromising. The post-apocalyptic world could have seen widespread wars, and Cotton's extreme behavior might reflect how people in this new world have clung to outdated ideals of heroism and nationalism. Presence reminds the town of a time before the collapse, and the stories of war and sacrifice might not just be about his past, but about a larger societal struggle that everyone in Ireland is aware of, but never discusses openly. Number four, the lack of young people and new families. One key detail that could support this theory is the surprisingly small number of young people in Ireland. Bobby Hill and a handful of others are some of the few children seen throughout the series, suggesting a steep decline in birth rates. If the world suffered a massive apocalyptic event, the population would have been drastically reduced, and the birth rates may have plummeted due to environmental or societal reasons. The people of Ireland might not even fully understand why they aren't seeing more children. They've just accepted that this is how the world is now. Conformity and fear of change. Ireland's residents are fiercely protective of tradition and resistant to any form of change, especially Hank Hill. This could be a symptom of the survival instinct in a post-apocalyptic world. They cling to the old ways because they're scared that any deviation might trigger another catastrophe. Hank's obsession with order, normalcy, and doing things the right way could be his way of maintaining control in a world that has seen massive upheaval. Any new idea or innovation is perceived as a threat to the delicate balance they managed to establish. Number six, the supernatural and strange occurrences. There are multiple episodes in King of the Hill that involve supernatural or strange phenomena, such as when Bobby has an encounter with a Native American shaman, or when Peggy claims to have seen a chupacabra. These instances might not be just quirky comedy, but could represent the lingering effects of the apocalypse. Perhaps the disaster that ravaged the world also caused disturbances in the natural order, leading to those odd occurrences. The supernatural might be more common in this world, but Ireland's residents choose to ignore or downplay these events in an attempt to preserve their sense of normalcy. Number seven, survivalist mentality hidden in plain sight. Many characters display behaviors that could be interpreted as a form of post-apocalyptic survivalism. Young Gribble, for example, is a conspiracy theorist who consistently prepares for government overreach or disaster. While this is often played for laughs, it could be that Dale is one of the few people in Ireland who is fully aware of the true nature of their world. His constant fear of invasion and his stockpiling of supplies might be remnants of a time when the world was falling apart. Others in the town may share this fear, but have repressed it in favor of maintaining a facade of suburban life. Number 8. Government collapse and propane as the new currency. Another interesting angle is that the government has collapsed in this world. The small bureaucratic structures, like strict and propane, have risen up in its place. propane might be more than just a fuel in this society. It could serve as a form of currency or as a critical resource necessary for heating and cooking in a world where electricity and gas infrastructure has broken down. This will explain why Hank places such importance on his job as Strickland and why he treats propane with such reverence. Number 9. Megalomart as a symbol of corporate tyranny. The megalomart could represent the last remaining vestige of a mega corporation that managed to survive the apocalypse. Its presence looms over Arlen, and many residents rely on it despite its destructive influence on small businesses. The megalomart can symbolize how giant corporations still control vital resources even after society collapsed, exploiting smaller communities that have no other options. The episodes involving the store's explosion could be a metaphor for the dangers of centralized power in a fragile post-apocalyptic world. Finally, number 10, the myth of the outside world. There are references in the show to other locations, such as Dallas or even Hollywood, but the way these places are portrayed feels dreamlike or distant, as though they don't actually exist. The people of Arlen might talk about these cities, but there's little evidence that they are anything more than myths. After the apocalypse, people may have created stories about far-off places that still function as they used to, when in reality these cities are just as decayed or non-existent as anywhere else. The show rarely explores the outside world, which could mean it has largely ceased to exist. Now, if you guys want any more theories on this channel, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the Vaudeville Villain channel.